first inductee into the Hall of Fame, into the West High Hall of Fame. His name's going to go up on the board in the gymnasium and, of course, anywhere else where we print the Hall of Fame. Last year, we introduced his brother, if I'm not making a mistake here.
Not his dad.
Because I make mistakes. Okay. The only mistake, you ever heard this one? The only mistake I ever made was when I thought I made a mistake, that I was mistaken. Ooh, that's a good one. Think about it. Think about it. All right, forget it. Here we go. So the first inductee is Andy Bonchonsky. And to introduce Andy and talk about him is Howard Buckley. Howard, come on up. 1978, Andy Bonchonsky.
Well, first off, it's a pleasure to be here and an honor to induct another soccer buddy of mine into the West High Hall of Fame, Andy Bonchonsky. He's the fourth of 5 children from a truly great family who have spent so many, many years volunteering for the sport of soccer in the U.S. I've known the Bonchonskys ever since my family immigrated to the U.S. in 1968. The first time my dad took my brother and me to register for AYSO, Inga, Andy's mom, was who signed us up. It wasn't long before I met his dad, Joe, who was the most strict and commanding referee I had ever met. Actually, he was the very first referee I'd ever met. But he struck fear in every young boy that dared to enter the field of play, and I'm still a little scared of him today, I think.
We all are.
The funny thing is, I didn't actually officially meet Andy until we went to Jefferson Middle School. But I knew of him. In those days, there was a weekly newsletter called The Kicker, and it seemed almost every week his name was in there for scoring 1 or more goals. That was a sign of things to come. Now, my first early memory of Andy was during lunchtime at Jefferson. We were all sitting on the lunch benches eating when Andy pulls out a chocolate pudding cup. He pulls the lid off and then proceeds to stick his index finger into the cup, pull out a big chunk of pudding and jams it in his mouth. Oh, man.
Thanks, Howard.
Yeah, I was totally grossed out. But I'm sure the Bonchonskys had spoons at home, but apparently Andy didn't feel he had the necessary use of them. Eating habits aside, Andy and I became good friends and went on to play against each other as well as becoming teammates in club soccer with Torrance United and, of course, at West High. Now, over the years, the soccer teams at West had picked up a reputation as being a bunch of partiers. And suffice it to say, we lived up to that reputation. I'm not sure if that's still the case. Any soccer players out here?
Yeah, no.
Okay, don't admit to anything. Now, as teenagers tend to do, we made some questionable decisions and did some pretty stupid stuff. There was a time we all went up to the forest in PV after a game, and one of our teammates, who will remain nameless, got to know a certain Mr. Jack Daniels really well. He was quoted as saying, "Jack Daniels is kicking my ass, man." Now, you might be asking yourselves, why is he bringing up these not-so-glorious stories of life in high school? Well, I think these were really great bonding moments. And we had a hell of a team our senior year. As a matter of fact, the majority of that team all played together on the Torrance United Soccer Club, where we also got into a little mischief, but I won't get into any of those stories. So this brings us to the night of March 7th, 1978. The location, Torrance High Stadium. The event, CIF 4A Soccer Championship. The attendance, a CIF record of 42,000 fans. The finalists, West Torrance versus South Torrance. What an incredible feeling to walk out onto that field. Both teams had only lost 1 game in the league that year. We had played each other twice, and each had won on the other team's field. So this was the rubber match for the championship. South scored first that night, but instead of inspiring them, it inspired us. There was just something special about our team that year. Maybe it was all that bonding we did. So even though South had just scored, to a man, we all knew we were not going to lose that game. Within minutes, we had a corner kick. Andy took it, placed it perfectly in the box for Frank Campus to head home. Game on, 1-1. That's how the first half ended. Minutes into the second half, Paul Jones took the ball down the wing and hit a wonder strike right at the top corner to put us up 2-1. Keeper never had a chance. And then a mere 5 minutes later, a cross came into the box, ping-ponged around, before falling in front of Andy, and as he had been doing all season long, he banged it in the back of the net. 3-1, game over. What a night. CAF champions, and the best part is we had totally dominated our crosstown rivals, the Green Weenies. For his outstanding play that year, Andy was named to the All-CIF first team, All-Bay League first team, and named Offensive Player of the Year. After high school, he went on to play at El Camino for 2 years, where he made the All-Metro League and captained the side in 1979. Next, he was off to UCLA, where he won the NCAA title in 1980 and named to the Athletic Honor Roll in 1981. He then went on to play professionally in the American Speed Soccer League from 1980 to 82, Southern California Pro League from 83 to 86, and the American Soccer League with the Los Angeles Heat in 1985. During his playing career, Andy also volunteered as a ref, and I'm sure his dad had something to do with that. But actually, Joe Sr., he encouraged all of us kids to give back and volunteer to the game that we all love so much. And Andy really took this to heart and started what would ultimately be his calling, and that was coaching. He started out coaching at Maricosta High School as the boys' head coach boys' co-head coach from 1981 to 83, and then at West, where he was girls' head coach from 83 to 89. During that time, he was named CIF Coach of the Year in 1988 and 4-time Bay League Coach of the Year. Turns out he's pretty good at this coaching thing. While coaching at high school, Andy also coached local club teams, the ODP California South and North girls teams of varying ages, and was an assistant coach at Cal State Dominguez for the women's program. In 1989, Andy headed up north to UC Berkeley and as an assistant coach for the women's team, and then became head coach from 1991 to 1996, winning the NCAA championships in 1993. Got the #2 national ranking that year, and also #2 in the Pac-10 in 1996, and the top 20 ranking in 91, 92, 93, 96, and during that time he coached 3 All-Americans and 9 All-Regional players. Yeah, he had this coaching thing down pretty good. And he then went on to serve as the director of coaching for one of the top clubs in Northern California, the Bay Oaks Soccer Club, for 10 years, before moving to Arizona in 2008 as the director of coaching for the Legacy Soccer Club. In addition to running the Legacy, in 2004, Andy was named as an assistant coach for the Arizona United SC in the USL Professional League. And he continues today both to be the director of coaching at Legacy as well as coaching with the Arizona United. Now, on a personal note,